But yeah, it's going to be a great session. Where are you today, Molly? Are you still in Kentucky?
I am. I'm in Kentucky with my family. So
Wow.
it's been a good week or so here.
Yeah.
Yeah, having a good time.
Cool.
Missing Australia.
Well, Australia's missing you, Molly. Australia's missing you. Hello, Larry. Look at him. He's
He's
so
like,
cute.
I'm here too. I want you to know.
I love the Mickey Mouse in the back corner I can see over there, Molly. Is that your toys? Is
Yeah, so
it?
those are my mom and stepdad have grandchildren. So it's my stepbrother's children's stuff. But this
Wow.
is my office while I'm here. It works out nicely, but Larry's been staying by my side.
Cool. So a couple more minutes to go, but I think we'll be we look like we've got quite a few people coming through, which is great.
Awesome.
Nothing better than running a webinar and people actually turn up. Okay, so just bear with us, folks, while we wait a few more minutes for a few more people. We will start on time. But Molly, the first ad I'm going to show you will be George's. So I think you've seen these. So can you see that clearly enough? Yes?
Yeah, I can. It's
Good.
perfect.
Good. I'm never sure what I'm sharing when I do this stuff with Zoom. I feel like a Luddite when I do this stuff.
I've never actually done a webinar on Zoom. Like I've gone on live, like Facebook Live through Zoom, but I've never done a webinar. This is quite handy. I'm still using GoToWebinar, so.
Yeah, no, I changed over with this. So we're doing a full webinar series over the next few weeks, as you know, with DMDU. And I've always just used their Zoom meeting, but I added their Zoom webinar on, and it's been great. Integrates with Infusionsoft and it sends out all the invites and seems to be working. So it's doing what it needs to do. Now, you've got copies of these, haven't you? So can you read all that, or do you need
Yeah,
to
maybe
open it up?
zoom in a little bit if you wouldn't mind.
Now you're really asking me to.
I think there's a zoom. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Is that easier?
Wow. Perfect.
Yep. Cool. Great. So if you just, I mean, yeah.
You ready to get started?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty much 9 o'clock now. So
Great.
let's just
Georgia, let's do it. Let's see what she said at the top here.
Okay. So Georgia was at our workshop. So yeah, let's start with.
All right. Hi, Georgia. She says, stats for remarketing I did for my Drink Less webinar. Spend $538 and to date received over $1,600. Fantastic. That's a huge win. I would say this is very good and that this should be scaled. So impressive proof of concept here. Top tips to drink less without quitting alcohol. I've included the wording in the ad. After your advice, I had a photo taken of me with a glass of wine to make it more native. Love that. The goal is to get leads, which so far is 455. I'm then sending them to a TV interview I did to familiarize them with me, but so far only one sale. Next, they received the webinar link. So I'm wondering, first off, so are they opting in? Is a lead someone registering for the webinar? Or okay, so then you're sending them a TV interview. So that all sounds great.
So there's the ad there.
All right. Sorry, we've got a little, my mom's dogs are barking now.
That's okay.
Will you scroll up just a little bit? Larry, come on. Sorry, guys. Okay, we're back. So this was the first time, Larry, come on. such good timing, guys. Okay, so this is the first time I've actually seen those three new metrics right there, Sonia: engagement rate ranking, conversion rate ranking, and quality ranking.
Yes.
Maybe they're rolling out in Australia first, but those are the metrics, or that's what's replacing relevance score now, which is great. So the quality ranking is below average, the engagement rate ranking is above average, and conversion rate ranking is above average. So what that tells me, just really quick, is whatever's happening on her page is working well. Like her landing page is converting well. And the engagement rates, that's telling me that there's social proof on the ad and that ad is working really well. The quality ranking, I'll need to look that one back up to see exactly what that means. I think that has to do with more with the targeting. So this tells me that we might need to look at the targeting to better results, but you know, her results still look good overall. So we can keep scrolling down if we want. And it looks like
the thing that Georgia was happy with, she told me, was the CTR at 22%, nearly 23%. She felt that
that's insanely high. That's like one of the highest CTRs I've actually ever seen on Facebook, which is very interesting. What is that
exactly, Molly?
I wonder, so it says lead form. Sonia, do you know if she's using a lead? So that's click-through rates. So out of the number of people who have seen this ad, hey, Sonia, I'm going to turn my video off because I think my internet isn't great.
Yeah, I'll turn mine off too.
So click-through rate is basically out of everyone who has seen this ad, how many people have clicked, which could be clicking on the link. It could be clicking over to your page. You know, they could be clicking over to Georgia's Facebook page. They could be reacting, just clicking on anything that has to do with the ad. So I normally look at unique link click-through rate, but this is still a very high click-through rate, even though it's just a general click-through rate. That's very high.
And to answer your question, yes, it was a lead form that she used.
Okay. So that's definitely could be a huge optimization play for you, Georgia, moving forward, especially to get more people to show up for the webinar. The lead forms, which are, you know, you click on a Facebook ad and you input the information right there in the ad, right? That's a lead form. That can be good, but the quality of leads can be very low and people can forget that they even filled those out, right? Like, because there's not a lot of commitments that they have to make. And so I do think it would be worth testing an actual landing page here where people could opt in for the webinar, just so they're going over to your site, they're getting more information about the webinar, you're able to pixel them there. I think that could be an optimization point here to test, Sonia.
Yes, cool. Okay, good. So, so scrolling down, so she's given us like the top line for what the ad set, and then the ads in the campaign. So yeah, that's just the same information, is it? Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's just inside of the other one. We can scroll down to the ad now.
Yeah.
Cool. I love the image. It looks native. I do wonder if there's a way that we could speak, because this could be really about anything. You know, it could be about Georgia. It could be about being happy. Like the wine glass tells me, yes, it's about, like the wine glass doesn't tell me it's about drinking. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I don't know, maybe her taking a sip of wine. Again, these were just suggestions because these ads are already converting very well. But I would test something that says a little bit more about drinking, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I love that it's native. I love that she looks happy. And it looks like a post from a friend, right? Like that's exactly what we learned at the workshop. And then with the copy, now, Sonia, this is one of your clients, right? So I think that I'm going to be biased here because we talked about this copy before.
Did we? I didn't remember this.
And I know that you influenced it, and we talked through this, but this is incredible copy. And it's, you know, I am over being told I have to quit. Are you? And a conversation that we had, Sonia, is we've got to be very careful with this offer because it is about drinking. We never want Facebook, or we never want users to feel like they're being targeted or called out because they drink. And somehow Facebook's, you know, told us that they drink alcohol. So, you know, I remember us talking about wanting to be very careful here with policy. And, you know, we don't want to say, hey, are you having trouble with your drinking habits? We can help. And
Mm.
so I love that you guys made this about quitting. Like, I'm over being told I have to quit. Are you? We live in a social media fueled world where every day we are told we have to quit sugar, fats, carbs, alcohol, just about every guilty pleasure needs to go. And then it says, but you see, I just don't get it. What is wrong with moderation? Why can't we control ourselves enough to enjoy the occasional treat or glass of wine or two? Well, I know you can. In fact, I've been helping people take control of their guilty pleasures for 24 years. This is fantastic. Really, my only suggestion would be to space this out a little bit more because
Yeah.
the paragraphs are a bit long. So it can be
Yes.
harder to digest if you're just a scroller or,
Mm.
if you just sort of, I guess scroller. I'm forgetting that word of skim readers.
Yes.
But otherwise, I love how native this is. She's aligning with the audience. And we are told it's all about cut out fat, cut out sugar, cut out this. And although there's probably truth in our need to do those things, this is a message that the general public can align with. And it's going to generate social proof. And people are immediately like, they're shaking their heads, yes, as they're reading this ad, agreeing with what she's saying. So that's a
Yes.
micro commitment that's going to lead to them signing up for the webinar. It's fantastic. And then for nearly 24 years, I have been challenging the traditional approach to women who drink too much because I was tired of seeing women feel shame and embarrassment about their drinking. The truth is, everyone knows when they are drinking too much, but here's the irony. The more worried you get, sometimes the drinking increases. And I can show you why this happens and how to change this. You see, I get it. I was one of those drinkers. I drank fast and furiously in my 20s with the assumption that when I got to my 30s, I would drink less as I became more mature, but this didn't happen. I'm now in my 50s and life has seriously changed in all good ways. In fact, I have now become known as the go-to alcohol reduction expert. Who would have thought that back in the 80s? It wasn't until I changed two important aspects of my approach when I help others with that made a huge difference in my relationships with wine. I'm here to alleviate any concerns about drinking you may have without having to go into long-term therapy or having to go to weekly group meetings. I guess like many women, you enjoy what you drink, but sometimes the stresses and strains of life drive you to drink more than you want to. Let's face it, it's the extra glass or two that make you feel bad. I want to reassure you that drinking too much is a habit you can change in the privacy of your own home. So this is fantastic and it's working. So I just want to talk about different options for other types of ads to test. So
Right.
this is a pretty lengthy ad, which there's no problem with that, but it's leaving out anyone that's just not, there are people that just don't love to read. So
Mhm.
first off, I would test a video ad with Georgia
Yes.
just holding the camera, like selfie mode, and
Mhm.
pretty much saying what she's saying here in this copy. I would
Right.
also test some new copy variations, whether you're using this image or the video, that are a bit shorter, right? Because
Mhm.
this is, again, awesome, but not everyone's going to read this. I would
Yeah.
also test some variations and be aware of the fact that I think a huge reason we are having a lot of webinar signups, but maybe not a lot of sales. And I would be curious to see how many people are watching the webinar if she doesn't actually mention the webinar in this ad. So
Yeah.
people are filling out this lead form, but they don't really know what they're going to get, which,
Mhm.
isn't great ad scent. So you want to
Yeah.
make sure that in these ads, your call to action does describe the webinar and a few things they might learn and, that they're going to go sign up. Because
Yeah.
otherwise they're like, cool, I can relate with this. Yes, I want to get to know Georgia, but they probably don't even know what they're opting in for. Maybe they think they're going to get on a phone call with her or
Yeah. I
something.
think there's a download on the lead page. So you see on the picture, it's got
Okay.
she's going to a lead page where they download the tips to drink less, and then it's offering them the webinar. But yeah, definitely you could run this ad just to promote the webinar.
Yeah, absolutely. And that would, like, if you went direct to webinar sign up, Georgia, I mean, eventually you might need to add in a lead magnet first for scale. But right now, that lead magnet is just putting an extra step between you and getting them on that webinar because you're
Mhm.
still going to generate the lead if they opt in for the webinar, right? So you
Yeah.
don't need the lead magnet to do that. Maybe you could even say, sign up here and you'll be registered for this webinar and get this lead magnet. So maybe it could be one opt-in for both of them. But I would just set the expectation, or test setting the expectation a little bit more in the ad copy, if that makes sense. Otherwise,
so would you suggest, Molly, running like the campaign, like leaving this campaign running as it is, going to the lead magnet, then the webinar, and then trialing another version of this, maybe with a video
Absolutely.
where you go directly webinar and still do the lead form, and then they can get the download prior to the webinar, or
yes. So I would
leave landing page.
I would leave this how it is, because we don't want to mess with anything that's working.
Yeah.
But if I was to build something new, I would build a landing page that promotes the webinar. They get the checklist as a bonus for signing up for the webinar. And then I would set up some ads that are similar to this, maybe just shorter copy, maybe a video ad like we talked about, that just at the end of the ad promotes the webinar a bit more. So those are really the changes I would make. And I think that will have a huge impact on your sales, because you're going to be able to get your offer. Like, think about it. Out of the amount of people that see this ad, how many are actually even seeing her offer for whatever she sells on her webinar? You know, it's not that many people. So that's why I'm trying to remove steps to help with that. But Georgia, you and Sonia, I know you have something to do with this too. You guys have nailed it in terms of the voice, being native, telling the story. All of that's there. I just think a few structural changes will make a huge difference for
so
this.
I think we've answered this, but Estelle's asked the question, would you add the new ad into the same campaign as an ad set, or as an original, as a new campaign?
No, I would leave what you're doing in the campaign that's working, and then create a completely new campaign where you want to test this stuff.
Great. Okay, cool.
But this is awesome. I love seeing this. And I love what you're doing too, Georgia, because, some people need help to stop drinking, but you're kind of in the middle, helping people with moderation. I see some really creative video ads too, where you could, I don't know, we would have to riff on this a little bit, but they could be very native, and like, you've got a few glasses of wine in front of you and you're like, how many should I have? Like, moderation is a problem, right? Really catch someone's attention. Why is this lady sitting here with 3 wine glasses? This isn't something I see on Facebook every day.
So one of the things that I've found with this sort of copy, and I work with quite a few clients that are in sensitive areas as far as Facebook's concerned, particularly around health and wellness, and I'm a story brand coach, so I've always taken my content from the way of talking about the customer's pain point first. That's what I've worked, but of course Facebook doesn't like that much anymore. So what I found really helpful out of your workshop, and what George has done really well in this ad, is taking the pain point but showing how it was your pain point and how you were able to create this program because you could see the pain. And I think that was one of the big takeaways I got out of your workshop, is it's okay to put yourself in the picture, as even though you're the guide of your customer's journey, but you're telling them that you've got empathy. And I think empathy is one of the strongest things to use for selling on Facebook. If you can empathize with the audience, and then show the authority to fix it and the understanding, it's a really powerful tool.
Absolutely. And it's why storytelling like this works so well, because she can relate to the audience without directly saying, hey, do you have trouble with drinking? But fantastic. She's just relating because she's gone through that too. But I love it. Great job, Georgia.
Great. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to, I think we've got, oops, hang on, screen sharing stopped, the window closed. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. So I need to go.
Okay, I gave you the hard job.
You did. And I'm the one that's the least coordinated. And so we're going to go to Carl next, so you can still see the screen. So Carl's been very high tech. So he sent us through, let me just try and zoom in on this. So Carl has sent us his ads for review. He's selling a $47 online cooking class, cold traffic to parents with kids and women, no conversions yet. I'm going to show you these ads, and that's what he said. So this is the top of the funnel cold traffic ad.
We're not seeing anything if we're
Not
supposed to.
seeing anything. Okay.
Well, we see your inbox, but I don't
Okay,
see.
let me just change the share. I hate this job,
Okay.
Molly. I'm never doing this again. Um,
You love me. I know. I saw all of these
when I
files, and I'm
got that
like,
text
I'm just
message from
gonna
you this
fiddle with
morning, I'm like, I know what she's up to. Why don't you
it.
just do it yourself? And you came back and said, no, I think you should do it. But
I think you
note to
should do it.
self,
You're
don't do this again.
guiding.
Don't do this again. Why is it
Okay.
going backwards? Why is it? I want it to go
So,
bigger, not smaller.
something first off, before we even dive into the ad, it's really tough to sell a $47 information product direct to cold traffic. A lot of that, like it's pretty easy to sell a $47 physical product to cold traffic because someone
Yeah.
can imagine what it is. You know, it's makeup, it's whatever it is. I know what it is. But with information, it can be hard to understand what it is. It can be hard to trust that person. Usually the relationship needs to be developed a little bit more. So I would absolutely recommend going for a lead magnet first, Carl or Cynthia, or both of you, because it's going to allow you to generate those leads that you can then build a relationship with via email and over time. Not that, I mean, you can go, you can send them directly to a landing page where they opt in, they give you their email address, and then you could sell them this $47 course on the thank you page. You know, and traditionally you would see about 5 to 10% of people convert on that page. And then over time, you'll see more. But just something to think about from a strategy standpoint here. I think it's going to be very, very difficult to sell a $47 info product direct to cold traffic. But let's look at your ad. So my kid was addicted to refined sugar big time, and it was painful. This is what I did. I turned unhealthy sweets and desserts into healthy desserts he could not get enough of. Okay, so let's stop right there. I like this, but as if I were a parent and I read my kid was addicted to refined sugar big time and it was painful. I mean, I understand it's painful and I understand logically that it's not good for me, but I think we could dive a little bit deeper here. Like, what does refined sugar do to you? Does that make sense, Sonia? Like, I think
Yep.
in this first sentence, we've got to dive deeper than just addicted to refined sugar. I just don't think, I think maybe 10 to 20% of the population would say, oh yeah, that's bad. We need to fix that right now.
Maybe
And the
it's something
rest,
like, my kids' behavior had, got out of hand. The tantrums had got crazy, and
yes,
and
wasn't
I couldn't,
listening.
yeah, I couldn't take him anywhere without feeling embarrassed. I
Yes,
realized it was probably the sugar in his diet that was creating
heck yes.
a big, and it was painful for him and for me. So that's
Yeah,
why I did this. Maybe something along like
I
what is
love that.
actually the demonstrated pain, not so
Yes.
much the refined sugar's not really a pain. It's what the refined sugar does to the kids. So sorry, Molly, to jump in, but it's something about
No, you're
copywriting.
right.
So when I teach this, one of the things we talk about is features, advantages, and benefits. The feature is what it is. It's refined sugar. The advantage of refined sugar is it makes my kid hyper. The benefit, not really benefit, but pain point of refined sugar is his behavior is appalling, and I feel embarrassed as a mother. I feel like sugar makes me a bad mother because my kid's behavior is terrible.
Yeah.
So
And I'm
something,
embarrassed for him to go to his friend's house or
yeah,
family
I can't
houses.
trust his behavior in public, or I mean, that's getting very dramatic, but just take it, what
We
you're
can
talking
go
about
deep on
there.
this, can't we?
Yeah, like normally we would talk features, advantages, benefits is positive, but if you're going to be going negative, what is the feature, what's the disadvantage, and what's the pain point? So the pain point is how it makes you feel. The most powerful words in marketing is, and it made me feel like this, or it imagined how I felt when it did that. So even an experience, I was at the shopping centre the other day, I was in the lolly aisle, and my child chucked a tantrum. I felt like a really bad mother. And I realised it was sugar. Does that sort of how you would do it?
Absolutely. I think you're so right. And they say here he was moody, disruptive in school, but that's not till the end of the second sentence, you know? So you've already lost anyone, you know, who would be interested in and maybe experiencing those same things. But
Yeah.
you're right on, Sonia. Like that's where I would take this ad. And we can't see the video. It looks native. It looks like her speaking you know, to the camera, which is good, but if possible, maybe even have her son on video, or I don't know, something that like I I don't know how to describe this, but showing this sugar addiction through the ad, not just her talking,
Yes.
if
So
that makes
Carl's
sense.
just asked a question. So we bring them in with the story and then retarget 3 to 5 minute rave on story. So sorry, Carl, if you could just respond, Carl, are you saying that you do this to get them pixeled so that you then remarket them with the product? Yes, we get the video views. So he's retarget. So this ad is to get the video views so he can retarget them.
Okay, which is good. But if I were you, Carl, I would create a lead magnet. I would set up a campaign optimizing for leads, send them over to a page, optimize for them to land on the thank you page so that they opt in for some sort of checklist to get your children off sugar or some sort of lead magnet like that. And then, yes, you're telling the story in the beginning, but you're really speaking, like Sonia said, to that pain, right? Like, what is the real pain here? Not the features. Like, what is the real pain that that they're suffering? And yes, you can speak to those through a story, and then that way you don't have to, because at the end of this ad, it's pretty much all just promoting your course. And you don't really want to use an ad to do a lot of selling. You want to use an ad very much like an email to get a click over to your landing page. So I just think you could shorten this, make it all about the struggles that she was having with her child because he was addicted to sugar, and that this checklist, this lead magnet, is going to give them the instructions. Or maybe it's not a checklist. Maybe it's a quiz to see if your kid is addicted to sugar, right? Or if they
even a list of the 10 biggest culprits for sugar in a kid's diet or something like that, something they can take. Jamie's asked a question, does having the hyperlinks in the text have any effect on the conversion rate?
Nah, it shouldn't.
Yeah, and then Carl said, can you pull up ad 2 and 3 as well? Loving the feedback. Yes, Carl, we're getting there. Don't rush us. Are you trying to help me, Carl? You're not mansplaining by any way, are you? So we'll jump over to the next ad now.
Let's do it. But I think just some simple changes to this will make a huge difference in this business. And the biggest thing is not going direct for that $47 offer. Do a webinar, do a lead magnet, something to build that relationship first.
So Carl's second ad. Okay, so can you see that, Molly?
Yes. All right. Ditch refined sugar forever. I like these images a little bit more, but I honestly, if I don't read, like if I'm more of a visual person, I would think this was like a recipe site. So I really think we need some imagery, whether it's videos or images that show children with sugar, and maybe children like looking very hyper eating something that's sugary. But I think that would stand out to parents. Excuse me.
Bless you.
We want to make sure that we're attracting parents and not people that are interested in good recipes, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And then this looks similar. Ditch refined sugar forever. I figured it out. My son was addicted to sugar big time. Again, most people just aren't in a place where they know why they should even ditch, refined sugar. So same feedback here. I have the same feedback on this. I would go direct to the lead magnet. type of story, but this imagery is a little bit better. I think we just need to incorporate children into it.
Okay, so we'll go back here to
You're a wonderful driver.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't like this job and I'm not doing it again.
We need to hire John to do
this. This is extremely complicated when you do this, isn't it? Reviewing all these ads.
I know.
So we need to change this
a few times a week, and just managing the documents can be.
This one. Okay. So this is it. Ad 3 is a retargeting sales page view. We've just also got a message from Georgia. I didn't realize I could use the chat box. I want to say thanks, Molly and Sonia, for your feedback. Really helpful. Thanks, Georgia. Well, so yeah, Carl says ad 3 is the retargeting sales page.
Okay. So don't miss out on 50% off one-time offer for the cooking class. So that's fine if they would have already engaged with you, as they have. Made your lamingtons last night and got the seal of approval from my son, who also happens to be the fussiest human on the planet when it comes to food and has an enormous sweet tooth that I'm trying to evolve. So again, I would just use a testimonial that speaks more to how behavior has changed, or, whatever that after state. I feel good sending my kid to school. I'm not embarrassed any longer. The behavior is better. But otherwise, this is good. Same feedback here on your creatives. Maybe now, since we're talking about selling the course, can we see Cynthia on video teaching us something, or, show me that I'm going to learn from her. We don't want this, again, to look like a recipe site.
Yeah, I think it's always important to try and get pictures of people into these things if you can. I think on Instagram, photographs of beautiful food work well. On Facebook, I think, because it's called Facebook, I think it's about faces. I think that, I know that sounds really it's sort of basic, true. But we relate to people. Like, even if we go back to old-fashioned newspaper days, put a person in a story and you'll get so many more people comment or read about it. So if you can put, like for this, with that testimonial of the kid eating the lamington, a photograph of a kid eating the lamington would probably be, look fantastic or something like that. But yeah, and food photography is just so hard to make it look good on Facebook. Like, they're good photos, but they don't, top food photography costs hundreds of thousands of dollars because it's so hard to make the food look yummy in a really tiny little photograph like that. So that would be one of my comments about food photos.
Yeah. So Carl, great job overall. Like, you guys are definitely getting there. I think the biggest shifts for you are adding a lead magnet here, going to a landing page, speaking more about the real benefits of getting kids off of sugar, or diagnosing if they do have a sugar addiction, whether it's through a PDF or a quiz. And then on the thank you page, sell this $47 product. Make sure on the thank you page they know it's 50% off. And if possible, maybe have that discount expire if you could evergreen something like that. And then have a nice retargeting ad like we just saw, but with the creative feedback we discussed.
So this was just the results of his ad there, so you can see.
Okay. Yeah, your cost per click is low. Your click-through rate is pretty high. So, I really only have like landing page views and link clicks to judge, since there aren't any sales yet or no cost per lead. But all of this looks okay. I just think your overall strategy needs to change a little bit, because you're going to really spin your wheels trying to sell this $47 offer. And say you're able to sell 20 of them a day. You're still missing out on a lot of people who might become a lead and buy later, that never have the chance to get to know you or go through that indoctrination because there wasn't an opportunity. So really thinking back to the customer journey, honestly, Sonia, I think is huge for this one, Carl. Like, we're going for marriage on the first date here.
So our next one's Courtney Williams, and Courtney says, very much looking forward to Molly's critique. Here's the link to share to Google Docs, which contains some screenshots of the ads we've tried, which worked and which didn't. I don't expect Molly to do an in-depth analysis of them all. If she could do one or two, that would be fantastic. Just included several so you can see the idea and context of where we had. Okay, so now we're going to Google Docs. I am really testing my full strength of technical prowess
I'm
here
so
today,
proud of
people.
you. I'm
Uh,
so proud of you.
I said to send me screenshots, not Google Docs. I'm a Luddite. I'm 52. I don't need to do this. Okay, so this is top of the funnel, interest-based lookalike campaign, and then we've also got, so yeah, there's quite a bit here. So maybe if
Okay,
we
these look cool.
start at the
Let's
top, I
start at the
suppose.
top. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says the image to video ad and its square equivalent are working best for us at the moment. We struggle to find ad copy that does as well as this one. The only other headlines that work well for us are complete programming bundle and master current programming trends. So I guess we're selling information to programmers here.
Yep.
Um, Same suggestion that I don't know if I would go directly to a bundle and sell something here, Courtney. Like very similar feedback as Carl. If I were you, I would be going for the lead, like getting them to opt in for a lead magnet or a webinar first. I do love your creatives. I think they absolutely speak to your audience, like sort of with this video game theme. I would try something a little bit more native if you have the chance, maybe someone actually on camera. Let's keep scrolling down if we can.
So Courtney says she's selling programming courses. So yeah, cool. So this is the
Great.
next
So
one.
get all 20 courses, grab this bundle and learn all you need to know about mastering blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I mean that with love. And virtual reality with courses from all the major areas of program. This bundle will help prepare you to enter. So really similar feedback to the last two also. We're speaking about the offer and what we have to sell. And that's not really why people buy. You know, I just did a training with students with Tom Breeze, who does YouTube. And he was saying the same thing. He was like, Molly, you know, think about all the things that I buy. Like I buy exercise equipment I never use in hopes of getting fit. Or, you know, we're usually not buying because of the actual product we're buying. So why are these people buying this? Do they want to make more money? Like, do they want to, like, will this help them in some way raise their salary? Like what are
A
the,
lot of them will be trying to get jobs, I would imagine, would be one of the key reasons for upskilling themselves.
yeah.
So
So I
looking
think,
back at this
yeah,
one up here,
yeah, go ahead.
potentially having that headline that really allows them to understand how other people are using these things. I mean, it's all JavaScript to me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you know, it could even be that you're sending them to one of your courses that's a lot cheaper or discounted. I'm not sure how much this is, but you know, it's for a top of the funnel. It just might be too early to get them to commit to a whole bundle. Does that make sense, Molly?
Yeah, I completely agree. And she said, we've tested a few more emotional focus, what they can achieve, the unexpected benefits of coding, but they don't work as well. And Courtney, I think that might be a targeting thing. Like you are reaching, like you might be targeting like really intense developers right now, or like really, I don't know, maybe more advanced developers who are in the moment where they need this education bundle. But I think for scale, you know, targeting people who might be looking to get out of their job, that are looking for a new career path. I just think there's so much more, and I know you've tested it, but there's got to be a way to get it to work where we're not just running ads about what the product is and that there's a bundle. Like that, I just feel like there has to be more. Like, for example, with virtual reality, that's the future, you know, and most developers probably want to stay ahead of the game, because if they're learning a language that's going to become extinct in the future, that's probably not good job security. So that's even an idea, learning virtual reality to stay ahead for job security. I think running, if you have some testimonials about someone who maybe didn't have a job before and went through this and now does, or was able to get a raise, or whatever those situations are that we were just discussing, that could be powerful too, because you're not just saying, hey, take our courses and make more money. It would be someone actually saying that they had that experience. So that's another way to think of it.
Hmm.
Um,
So she's running some retargeting ads, which, Courtney, can you just confirm that these ones here are the copy for the retargeting ads?
Yeah, it looks like it. We noticed that you've still got items in your cart. I love the 5 cups of coffee and the 6 hour or 60 hours of courses. That's a great
Yeah.
comparison.
So yeah,
And
these
these are
are the
great.
retargeting. Yep.
Yeah, these are great retargeting ads. Courtney, I mean, my biggest thing, I know you've tried it, but I think we got to dig deeper and maybe even think about ensuring that your targeting is really on point with more of those opportunity type ads. But you guys know how to create great creatives. You obviously know your market. You've got this great bundle offer. You said that you have a lead magnet offer too. I think we've just got to work a little bit more on figuring out how to get some ad copy to work that's not just, hey, I've got this sale going on, because I just worry that's not going to be very scalable for you in the long run.
Yeah. I wonder, like with these types of images where you've got your logo on here, whether there's something you could put on there that actually says what program this is that you do that teaches you how to do this or something. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so this might be, I don't
Wasted
know,
space.
yeah, it might be Java, or it might be, I don't know what the course is that they learn to be able to program that little robot man, but maybe it's something on there that makes would stop them as they're scrolling. So they see that picture and they go, oh wow, that's the new upgrade to JavaScript or whatever it is or something.
Yeah,
So yeah.
absolutely.
These are the failed ones. We don't like the word failed. We just haven't quite got them right yet, Courtney. None of us are failures. Here's
Okay,
this
tired
one.
of trying to learn programming from institutions who don't care about you and your needs. I like that you went this direction, but I don't know if that's the situation they're in, you know? Like, I just don't know. Like, yes, we tried some more emotional ads, but this might not be the emotion they're feeling or the pain that they're struggling with.
Mm, okay, so you still there, Molly?
Yeah,
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 sorry,
yeah,
I
I'm
thought
still
I'd
here.
lost
Sorry, I
you.
think there was a delay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah,
They're
Cordy,
great graphics.
yeah, absolutely great graphics. I think the best way, so these are the best coding courses I've ever taken. I love that the courses were organized around real life examples and projects. The instructors explain it in calm, well structured way. They make me keen on coding again. So I like that, but it still doesn't really speak to a huge benefit in her life other than she likes to code and she
Mm,
wants to keep coding.
yeah. Um, cool.
And maybe what could be good is to send, um, this one says they're the hands down the best they've ever taken. Plus, the instructor was always there to help me. It's still not really a huge life benefit for him. Cordy, it could be worth sending a survey similar to what I talked about with Panda Planner at the workshop, where you said, where was your life before you took these courses? Where is your life afterwards? How is your life better? Make sure you use that word life. And I think you could get some good testimonials that you could use in ads like these that just kind of go a bit deeper.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, Courtney,
Cool
obviously you've
brand.
got
Thank
a
you,
lot
Courtney.
happening. It looks great. I mean, it's a huge area, the business. So good luck with that. Now I need to get out of here and get back to somewhere else. Where's
You're
our
so
last?
welcome, Sonia. She said, we're doing interviews with students to try and find out more stories. Awesome.
Right.
And I really think if you could find a market, like, for example, we were looking through job applicants the other day. And for some reason, I noticed a lot of people working at banks were
Mhm.
applying for this particular job that we had posted. And I'm like, wow, maybe there's an opportunity here of people working in financial institutes that hate the red tape and they want to get into digital marketing because of the lifestyle. So if
Mm,
you could identify something like that, Courtney, like people, a sector of people that are working in, I don't know, in something like a finance, and maybe, targeting those people, not targeting software developers or anything to do with tech, but going after an industry that might be looking for opportunity. I think that could make a big difference too.
Yeah. So next one's from Lee, and it's for her business, Bless My Life, helping your life flow. And she says, thanks for the opportunity for our Facebook Wednesday were hopes not too late. Included 2 ads that appeal to different avatars. So there's subtle differences. Some info. Goal of the ad is to increase signups to their free weekly blessings, a transmission of divine energy to subscribers worldwide. We look forward to your feedback. Okay, so it's just getting, the goal of this is just to get them to sign up to the newsletter. And can you see that there? Yes, you can. And two different avatars.
Okay, so I think first off, there's too much text on this image. Facebook's going to flag you for that and give you low reach. Mm-hmm. So I would think about really reducing this text first and foremost. Could you scroll up a little bit there, Sonia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, quick energy tip. Do you regularly receive divine energy to help your life flow? Raising our energy vibration can change the way you approach life and how it flows. Pushing through a stagnant life is the old way. There's a better way. Sign up and start receiving divine energy this Tuesday. So an issue I see with this is if you read, do you regularly receive divine energy to help your life flow? If you don't feel like you receive that, you're going to quit reading and think this isn't for you. So that's something to think about. You don't want to disqualify someone, because someone that's probably needing this divine energy, every Tuesday or desiring this, they might not feel like they have a connection with, spirit or does that make sense? So I think we don't want to disqualify them by saying, do you regularly receive energy to help your life flow? I think you could start with something like raising your energy vibration. Did you know raising your energy vibration can change the way you approach life and how it flows? There's a better way. Sign up to start receiving divine energy this Tuesday. Something else too is I don't know what receiving divine energy means. Like, am I going to get on a call with you? Is it just going to show up? And I mean, are you like sending this to me energetically? Is this going to be an email? So it says that there's see more. So there's more text to this somewhere, and you might explain it. But we've got to realize, guys, we get so close to things, like Lee, you've probably been thinking about your, divine energy, sending that every Tuesday for a long time. But someone reading this, they just don't know what that means. Same thing with Georgia. We had to be very clear about, making a call to action for the webinar, and explaining that is going to be very important for her. Same thing here. I just don't know exactly what that means. And I think that this creative, I think it needs to be a video of you. I think it's got to be something. There should be a human in here. I definitely think the creative needs some work. I would look at what Gabby Bernstein's doing. She uses a lot of images of herself or videos of about trauma or, forward-facing videos with her talking about issues she's dealt with. So I think we need a big creative facelift here.
Yeah, and the second ad is pretty similar. I think my first read of it, Lee, is I don't understand what divine energy is, and why do I only receive it from the angels on a Tuesday? Like that was the two things that jumped out at me with this. And obviously with your business name, Bless My Life, it's pretty clear that it's about blessings and things, but I just feel that you need more story to it if this is top of the funnel. You need to understand that it's, it's not the right wording, but I need to think about it more, but it's something along the lines of, do you feel sometimes that you're alone but you sense that something else is there? There's a greater power calling you, something along those lines, allowing people to tap into how they're feeling. Facebook won't like those words that I just said. You need to turn those words around to a story about somebody within your business as to why you do this, why are you qualified to do this, and how does it send it to me on a Tuesday? I think obviously there's more text, so maybe that's there if I was to go further into the ad, but The other
And
ad is
something
pretty much the same, I think.
something else to think about here, reference back on my slides with the Panda Planner ad about Ruth. Do you remember that one, Sonia, where
Yes.
before Panda Planner she had stress and she was going through a divorce, and then just using this planner helped change her life. I think that's kind of the route that you need to go with this. Like someone is experiencing some bad stuff. They started receiving divine energy every Tuesday. You explain what it is and you explain that after state. And Lee said, I guess that if I'm targeting lookalikes to our current list, that the wording would make sense to them. I don't think so, because a lookalike is just a group of people that look very similar to people who are on your list. So it doesn't mean they know you, and it doesn't mean that they're spiritual. They could like dogs, because a lot of people on your list like dogs. So I just would be careful making that assumption.
Any ad that is a top of the funnel ad, which is effectively what these ads are, is you need to just remember that you are too close to your product, and you don't there's like, for me, I get what you're selling, and I think we spoke at the workshop, so I even probably know it more. But quick energy tip, first of all, I'm thinking this has got something to do with fitness. Then I'm like, receive divine energy. I'm like, whoa, hang on, this has got something to do with religion. And then the angels to help you access your full potential. It's some sort of life course. So there's a lot of conflict in that first line that just confuses my brain. And so I would really give me something that tells me the before state and the after state what I would be doing as to how this energy from the angels, this divine energy, will help me live my day better today.
Absolutely.
Something along those lines. I don't know if that helps, Lee. But happy, if you want to, Lee, have another go at that and send it through to me, I'm more than happy to have a look at the copy for you. I think that I see this a lot with my coaching clients. My assumption of you with your business is you're too close to people understanding what it is you give. Your elevator pitch or your tagline or whatever isn't clear enough what it is. Is it religious? Is it a happy clapper religion thing, or is it a life coaching thing, or is it, what is it? And I think, if you're at say somebody's got a close friend that's just passed away or a loved one and they're feeling grief, this ad should talk to their grief, because I think they're the sorts of people that would probably click in to the angels and divine energy.
Or divorce or anything traumatic.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got one more to do. So we're doing well for time. Let's just get out of there.
This is fun. We should do this more, Sonia.
Fun for who? You or me? Okay, Jamie, I'm going to do yours, Jamie, but you did not send me screenshots. You've sent me links. Bad, Jamie. So Jamie has a franchise business where his product helps women with weight loss and their exercise centers. He's got a current ad recruiting for new franchisees, so a different market. So he's got that, and he also helps franchise recruit members where the franchisees are located. They have a small audience and they aim to recruit women wanting to lose weight. Found it very difficult to create ads promising weight loss. The Facebook algorithm disapproves them. And getting more so. Jamie, you, a bit like George's example around drinking, near impossible to get an ad around drinking improved unless you change the tone. And I think if you heard Molly's critique of George's stuff at the beginning, a lot of this is probably going to apply to you. So let's see if this is going to share. Is it loading? So can you see that, Molly?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so it's just taken me through to the Facebook. Jamie, I'm assuming it's this Nick Wendy ad.
Okay, really quick. We definitely can't have before and afters in any health ads. So if this isn't disapproved, it will be quickly. I would very quickly turn this ad off and delete it, actually, just because the creative is showing a very clear before and after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the wording.
Wendy, who lost around. So if you have retired or are in the age bracket of retirees, look around at the people your age and older. Oh, he said that's not the ad.
All right.
So
So
are
what
we
ad?
not in your, are we not, he said go lower. Well, all of these must be ads if they're in the info
They're
and
all
ads tab
sponsored.
though.
Yeah. So which one do you want, Jamie? I need a bit more information. Go lower. Okay. How much lower? Can you? Is it this one here with the two women? Own your own fitness. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's this one here that he's interested in.
All right. Own your own business in an industry you're passionate about. Here's a unique business that specializes in helping women aged between 35 and 65 achieve amazing results. Low setup costs with finance available, small size. Okay. So you know this more than anybody, Jamie, but these ads, like there's going to be a huge tail on the end of this. Like this is a long sales cycle. So like I'm imagining my mom who just walked in the room. She
Hi,
wrote
Mom.
on a note, do you want garlic bread with dinner? Yes.
I want some of that strawberry shortcake you were eating the other night.
Yes. I know. I'm getting all the homemade cooking after Australia food. Yeah, my mom said I'm getting spoiled. So, anyways, I'm thinking about my mom who is, sort of in this age range and might be interested in an opportunity like this. And it would take her months to make that decision, right? So Jamie, you know that, but I just want you to be aware, like these ads should be used for lead gen. And you know that, but this isn't a direct response type of play here with Facebook ads. Now, I don't honestly see anything inherently wrong with this ad. It's very straightforward. It's to the point. But I would suggest a lot of what we said here. Can we tell a story about somebody who has done this already, and maybe you create a few avatars. I think there's probably an avatar of women who maybe have received inheritance or somehow have a sum of cash that they're looking to reinvest. So, think about that. I think you've got, obviously people who have retired and they want something to do with their time, but I think you got to figure out kind of what the 3 or 4 avatars are, that, is this woman. And then have the same thing as we said a minute ago with Courtney. I think we need to tell some stories. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with these ads, but they look like ads, And if I'm in the moment where I want to own my own business and I want this and this ad shows up, great. But it's going to be it's not very scalable. Does that make sense? And so I think we've got to go a little further to tell stories of, Sandy, who received some inheritance when her parents died. She didn't know what to do with it, but she knew she wanted to invest. And she also wanted something that supported her and gave her a new career. And it was a way for her to connect with her community. And she loves being a business owner. And it was so easy because everything was laid out in the franchise agreement and, on and on. I think that's how you take these to the next level.
Yeah, I think so. I think that I think you're jumping too quick into, it's a low cost setup, finance options available, small size, 120 square meters. That's all stuff that I think would come further down when you maybe sent them an information pack or something about the checklist to see whether you qualify to be a healthy inspirations owner or something like that. I think any personal stories, Jamie, that you can get in there, with the work that I did with our Balance website, one of the things that I found with this target audience of women is they have to know the outcome before they start. Men will just do something. So if you say to a man, oh, there's a bungee cord, we're going to jump off the cliff, he'll go, cool, put the bungee cord on, jump. Halfway down, he'll go, holy hell, what happens when this thing snaps? I don't know. The woman will want to know all those steps before she jumps off. She'll want to know what it's going to feel like when it finishes. She'll want to know what's in it for her. So up front, you've got to be able to connect in with this woman that you're answering all her questions around her own ability to do this. Same thing, when men are applying for a job, they'll see a list of 10 criteria and they'll say, oh, wow, I can do 3 of those things. They should pay me more money. Women will look at it and go, oh, my God, I can do 9 of those things. I don't think I'll apply for the job because I won't get it. So women look at these things so differently than men do. So think about the things where she's thinking, I'm not good enough to do this, as opposed to it's low cost. She's not probably worried about the cost at this stage or the size. She probably doesn't even know what 120 square meters is.
Yeah, you're speaking to the features again versus what she really wants deep down. I mean, look at the commonality between all of these ads.
Most women, whenever we survey women about their measures of success, and I've been doing this now in different roles for probably 20 years, and they come back as, I want to provide a better life for my family, I want to be debt-free, and I want to have the holidays I deserve. Now, those 3 things in various forms, no matter how I survey women, they are the 3 measures of success. And they're probably the 3 measures of success for men as well, but they articulate them in a very different way. Men talk about wanting to create a better life for them than their fathers did. But women are just all about better life for their family, being debt-free, having the holidays I want. Now, you give them the potential with these businesses to do all those things. Yes. So I'd be changing the language to that. So Jamie's just saying, so his target is married women. They most likely have real estate equity, needed to raise capital. Thanks hugely.
I don't know if that's completely true though. I don't think the married woman part has anything to do with it. I would actually say that possibly women that aren't married and even women that are divorced that are looking for, something new would work well. So I think you're limiting your audience here by assuming this could just be married women. I don't think that has much to do with it.
So he's just sent this other link, which was one of his consumer ads. So also helps recruit franchise members. They have small audience. They recruit women wanting to lose weight. So that's these ads, I would imagine. Ladies of Prospect.
Okay. So Prospect must be the place?
Yeah, it must be, I'm assuming. Is that the town of Prospect? Is that what it is, Jamie? That's it. Yeah, that's it. So, I love the story. Like, hi, my name's Nola and I've lost in the past 10 years. I think that bit's good. I would probably
start with that.
Is Nola one? If I'd put Nola's picture in there if she's not already in here. If she were, Prospect is a suburb in Adelaide. So I know we talked about the whole emoji thing the other day. I just find that really hard to read, Jamie.
Yeah, this is way too much.
I'm probably a 40 to 50-year-old woman in your target audience for this, and don't underestimate the power of white space and keeping things clean for, if it was 17-year-olds and 20-year-olds, maybe those would work. But I find the formatting of your ad is probably the thing that would stop me reading once I click the more. I'd go, holy shit.
Yeah, I also think really quick on the creatives before I forget this, they look a little too stock image. He says Nola is the franchise owner, and I think she is in the photo, but that photo looks like an ad to me. So I would actually take something on your iPhone that's
not professional.
Look as much like an ad.
How can you add extra white space? Well, extra white space to me is, see these green ticks, it's interfering with the white space because it doesn't, they're not, if that was formatted like dot points, well, then maybe it would work. These little ladies here, they're just a distraction. You can't really see what they are, and it's taking the white space. You could space your paragraph in a little bit more. Same thing that Molly said about George's ad. This says you're shouting at me. All our programs focus on mindset. Capital letters means shout.
And this ad is way too long too, and it's a lot of selling. Let your page do the selling. This ad looks like a big old ad.
Estelle said just hit enter and separate your sentences. I agree. It's a lot to get people. To me, you're trying to do too much in one ad, Jamie. this needs to be split out into a sales funnel, a customer journey. So, you know, you're starting with awareness, then you're wanting them to engage, then you're wanting them to subscribe, convert, and excite. And I think you're trying to do all of that in almost one ad. Like even a video where you said some of this stuff would be
easier. And I think we could do the same thing as we talked about with his first ad. I mean, you could just pick some of the regulars and say, hey, prospect, meet your neighbor, Emily. She's been coming to, you know, Healthy Inspirations project or prospect for 3 months. And here are the results that she's gotten. That's more powerful for me than what I'm seeing right here.
Definitely. I mean, to me, when the call to action is book your free session, this is an ad that I would be doing as a remarketing ad, this part of it, because you would want to just get them to Nola's story if that's what this is. So I reckon you've got about 3 ads in one in here, Jamie. Like this bit here about Netflix, you know, that's an ad in itself. You know, people spend more time watching Netflix and say they don't have time for exercise. Is this you? You know, like, that sort of thing you could do further down. Sorry to be so critical, Jamie, but it's the weight loss area is such a hard area to get approved. So the fact you've got it approved is great. I love the fact that you're calling out prospects, but get rid of these emojis. And even the 10 here, you know, my name's Nola, and over the past 10 years, you could leave the claps in if you want to, but there's a couple of good books about basic advertising, things like Ogilvy's books and things like that. And I can't stress to people more, good, clean copy presented well will win over anything fancy, because people read left to right and they read good, like nice font, easy to read font. Once it's hard, most of us stop because it's just like, oh shit, I'm going to do something else. I'll watch this video of the cat on the shark suit on the vacuum cleaner. You know, you're competing for people's time. You know, there's ads on TV where you have people screaming at you, you know, like some discount thing where they're just screaming at you. Most people just dial out because they're like, I don't want you screaming at me. I'm watching television. Facebook is television. You are interrupting people's viewing time with your ad, so make it easy for them. Estelle says she'd get rid of the ladies of prospect because you're already targeting that area and women. Potentially, it could be that he's had to make it broader to get prospect, I suppose, but
yeah, and it can be good to call out, if you are a local business, the city name, because it just really shows you that that's meant for you. So that can be good for a local business.
I always loved that ad you reviewed years ago where it was about a water park or something where people could do birthday parties, and it was raining. Yeah. They ran these ads on rainy days.
Hey, saying, Austin, you know, it's raining this weekend.
That's great. I think that's great. Okay, totally. So we're right on time, Molly. So, guys, we managed
to get dinner time for me.
So we will share this recording with you in the next day or so. We have got an incredible webinar series kicking in from next week over the next few weeks. We've got coming up next week, we've got Ollie Belson. If none of you have ever heard Ollie speak before, you're in for a treat. These are all our people that are coming out for DMDU this year, and it's a great way for people to get to know their speakers. So we've got Ollie, we've got Russ Hennebury coming up, we've got Mike Rhodes, Marcus Murphy, Jeff Mask, Ralph Burns, just to name a few, and we will be releasing more. The details are on the DMDU page. They're also on the Facebook group if you haven't already got them. Register for them so you make sure at least you get the recordings. Share them with your friends, people. This is all about bringing people like Molly into our community more and more, and the best way to do this is to get people to our events so that we can keep growing this. So, Molly, I really want to thank you for your time today. It's a delight. I've enjoyed it immensely, even with the technical side of it. And somebody's asking, do you need to register? Yeah, somebody's saying, do you need to register for each one separately? Yes, you do, because not everyone's interested in all of them. So just go through and click them all and you'll be in, and then you'll get the recordings But share them with your friends, please. We really need to get the word out there about our community with DMDU. The more people like Molly and Russ build their communities in Australia, the more they will come back and the more they will support us with learning.
You keep us hooked.
Exactly. And they come and do it in our time instead of us having to do it at 1 a.m. in the morning. So, Molly, thank you. This has been invaluable.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.
Bye.